Okay, good morning everyone. So this is now our fourth week for second semester of school year 2020-2021. I'll just share to you my screen. Okay, so this is lesson 4 for quantitative methods, including modeling and simulation. So before I'll start reading and answering the questions posted in our Facebook, um, I just need to remind everyone that the exercises that we had last week or last unit, which is unit 1, you were asked to update your PowerPoint. So the reason for that is I wanted you to create or to at least be sure of what you want to do for your capstone project. So in continuation, let us understand more on how to develop or improve your proposal by understanding and how to create a problem statement for this. Okay. May nakuha si Kim. I cannot accept, tell Kim that I cannot accept him because wala pa siya yung problem na i-post. Again, the rule is you post first two questions in our group before I can accept you to this synchronous session. So I cannot see his name in the list of students who posted questions for lesson 4. Please tell him. Okay. So I would just like to explain to you one more time why is it that I wanted you to create first or post first questions in our Facebook group before I could accept you in our synchronous class. Since I already posted our lesson in VLP, I want you to also read what I posted there and understand. Now, there are, of course, expected circumstances that you are confused on what are written there because those are just concepts. So that's the time you raise questions. And this is also a good practice for you to be able to come up or compose valid questions because later on you'll be asking your client um, several details for you to be able to collect information to support your project. So, so far, um, the questions are valid, but next time for lesson number 5, I will no longer accept questions that's answerable by yes or no. Again, questions next week for lesson number 5 should not be answerable by yes or no. Kana siya simple, kana siya. It's either kuan lang na. But I want you to think deeply. And as of now, more majority of the class is asking about problem opportunity matrix. Sige. Okay. Sige. Let's begin. Uh, so, this session is all about problem creation and analysis for research. Hi Kim, naiiwit mo ka na yata So now, what's the importance of creating questions? Now, any research, there should be several problems that needs to be addressed. So even capstone project mission, the more problem because um, different na ato ang capstone project compared to the thesis from other discipline. Because as they say, ato is product based. Mean to say, we seek first the problem and then we provide solutions through our um, IT projects. So I hope you downloaded already the CMO 25 series of 2015. They read Annex A, which talks about the details of capstone project. So you will know there what's the scope and limitation of the capstone project for the information technology. Information system final or terminal project or academic project requirement is also called capstone project, while for the computer science, it's called thesis. So, nalain siya o requirement. So, that's why um, I kept on emphasizing last year during your first presentation, or first proposal presentation, that you have to limit your um, scope kung unsa lang ang skill set sa IT. You cannot go beyond hardware manipulation because that's not part of our curriculum. So kung unsa lang to atong dito sa curriculum, then dito ta focus. Okay. So we cannot go for image processing since we don't have that. Um, that is more computer science. Image processing also requires hardware and software. So the, I, the only hardware related subject for information technology is networking. And yeah, so far, not too sure. Okay, so what should we need to learn for lesson number 4? So the learning outcome is to implement mathematical methods in IT solutions to problems. Now I have to clarify this. Even though it says mathematical methods, it doesn't mean that we're going to compute. It's more of um, the science of identifying and composing the problem. So you already have your discrete mathematics. So I hope you can use those um, numerical methods to this subject since it's somehow related or a continuation from MS 101. Then the specific intended learning outcome is to formulate research problems with measurable elements. Now, I think you've already encountered the term measurable and the key concept because this is how we're going to validate um, your application or your capstone project later if it solved the issue. So it should be measurable. So I'll talk about that later. Then we're now going to the key concept. So I can now answer questions from Facebook. So let me start with Jericho Asilo. First question is, what are the best steps to make a good problem statement? Maganda siya. I really didn't I didn't really understood the given tips. Um, the best step or the first step that you need to do for you to be able to get a good problem statement is it should be authentic. Now, remember that you do have a client. The client there plays a very important role in giving you the the authentic or the problem that existed or still existing in their business or organization, we cannot formulate our the problem statement for your capstone project. It should come from a legit or an existing client who's experiencing that problem. So from that, okay, let me continue. From that, by the way, you should not tell your client during your interview to uh, to come up with the adjective, the object, and the source. Okay? So it should be a casual interview, and then you're the one who's going to analyze how to compose the problem to suit to the requirements. So it's expected that majority of your client will give you a problem in Bisaya and Cebuano. So do not ask them to speak in English or Tagalog because the first thing you have to do or to consider is to gain the trust of your client during the interview. So that's how you get a good problem statement. Um, One of the experiences of my former students who went through capstone project is that um, you need also to guide the, the your clients through through a good set of questions, proper questioning, because most of them are too lazy to give the answer. So they're just going to say, okay, I just gave this and that. So you'll be the one who's going to give direction to your client on how to get the answers that will support your problem or your research. Next question is, what should we do if the client can't give enough information for the POM? Okay, so this is now the beauty of the problem opportunity matrix. It's actually a tool that will give the client or will give you as the one who's going to interview the client to think of ways on how to get the, the needed information. I'll just show you the table wherein the public opportunity matrix is explained. This one. Nakita ni? Please say yes.
Kita, sir.
Very good. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you. Hamis ko, Char. Okay.
Guwapa. Charot.
Okay. Okay, and na ta, Char. So, kaniha, give away na ako sa inyo ha. Can you see this example common problems? Now this one, muna siya, these are the possible na problem statements na inyong pwede gamiton sa inyong capstone. So example, if it's going to be about performance, so pwede niyo siya, basihan niyo siya for the performance uh, of their system, existing system. For example, hunting around for the documents needed. So, kani siya, it's already a good problem. Acceptable niya siya nga problem. Meaning to say, ang performance affected because of too much searching for the documents. So, hunting around, this could hunting around could describe the documents or the action in looking for the documents. But you can add the adjective, for example, difficulty or time consuming in kana in ano siya. So dungaga lang nimo siya. Kung kay hunting around is di mo siya na problem. Because it could be that pag hunting around, normal lang siya, no? Mangita man jud ka or looking for the documents, normal man na siya. Pero unsa ba jud ang problema di ay sa pag-hunt? Is it dugay mag-hunt? Langayan ang nag-hunt? Or wala kabalo ang nag-hunt kung asa dapit pangitaon ang documents? So, kana siya. So, mo dito siya muna. Kani siya hari, sir, or the examples. Daghan kainin siya. Okay? So, next question. From Cesar. In making the POM, must have 3 identified problems in every key area? Or is it acceptable to have at least 1 problem in every key area? Dapat jud 3. Because remember that in problem opportunity matrix, we still need to rank your problems. Ito na ko itong table sa taas. Ganyan siya. Let's say for example sa performance. If ever isa lang na siya dira karon, and then it so happened that the performance is also top 1 sa ranking sa inyong based sa client ha, siya ang client ang mag-rank na ni diri sa kaning tulo o diri sa kaning first column. Ingon siya nga ang pinaka-problema namo is sa performance. Automatically, ang number 1 sa performance, that becomes your general problem. Sumusaka na siya. Wala man siya kanang kuhan, wala man siya supporting problems. Kaya isa lang may gibutan ninyo. So, may tabo is wala na siya karoy sub-problem under performance. And dapat manggod na yung sub-problem kada key area. Kay unlike sa thesis sa other discipline, ang focus niya is isa lang. Mare, awareness in COVID-19 vaccine. Kana siya, isa lang naka-area iya ang ginapangita. Unlike sa IT nga capstone project, dapat kaning 6 areas atuan ni siya ma-answer or ma-address in your application. Because ang performance, kailangan siya ma-address kay sa inyong application, dapat na ay difference karon sa dating performance sa iyang old o katong existing na system sa inyong performance karon sa inyong proposed system. Example ng performance, kung dati lisod hinay ang production or distribution sa tanom ni Ali. Hinay ang distribution sa tanom. Karon dapat imuhang application dapat ma-increase niya ang distribution sa tanom. So that's performance. Sa information po, ibutang na ito wala kabalo o wala nakabalo tanan about sa information or sa data sa price list. That is the existing system. So dito sa katungkuan sa imong application karon, dapat ma-post na makabalo na ang halos tanan inay-ani nga price list. So muna siyang difference. So muna kailangan tanan siyang area is imuha siyang answeran. So, but have to determine asa dira ang pinaka-problema because the moment na mo katong general problem, either unahon nimo og tubag ang general problem or answeran nimo o dapat matubag sa application ang mga sub-problems tanan, automatic sa general problem, ma-answer na po ito siya. O kanong kailangan po tulo, kaya kailangan ito back-up na problems. Kaya if in case lang po na nagbalik ang problem, same problem ang naa sa performance o naa sa control, mas dali ka mag-eliminate because you do have a backup problem. Muna siya, kailangan ito. Actually, last There was a time na akong gipangayo is 5, but I figured out na 5 is too much. 3 is enough. So, kailangan dyan tulo. Anyways, you'll be asking questions naman with asking questions to your client. And remember, kani siya na-adere, kani examples na question, like common problems. Pwede siya buhaton ninyo as questionnaire. Example no, nag-interview na ko. Bisaya ang lago ninyo, ano ka, ma'am, inyo ba mga documents diri kay kanina nagsagol-sagol ba siya? So, muna yung pasabot ng scrambles to retrieve the connection. Siya wala man. Okay, next question. Nagalisod ba mo upangita sa inyong mga documents? Kung siya yes, o sige. So, pasok na niya siya. Makarga niya siya sa inyong performance. Kaya po, well changed. Okay, balik na. Nabay nangawalang ang documents niyo, ma'am. Yes, naa. Okay, pasok. Muna siya ang first phase sa question. Pag nahuman mo sa yung performance karon, ang next mo question na is, ma'am, ano nawala man inyo ang mga documents? So, dito na siya nawala ang documents tungod kay. So, nana kay object, nana po kay imuhang adjective, nana po kay imuhang specific issue. So, yun ana siya. So, you can do that method niya. Based on these common problems, may mo basehan mo sa question. And then, so di na ka mag-decide og ka ng formulate sa questions. Yung mo na lang buhaton diri is, yung mo na lang i-fulfill after ang katong dito sa adjective, object, o iyahang specific issue. So, kanina magod, wala siya specific issue, kaya tag lack of consistency. Wala mo siya target good na specific na organization or business. So, you're the one who provide that to make it a complete problem statement. So, okay. Next question ni John. John says, sorry, swipe back here. If we miss providing a problem in a single key area, what would possibly happen in our research? So, dili siya holistic. Kumbaga, one of the, fall down or nangimutang failure sa isa ka startup or capstone project or IT project is focus lang siya sa isa ka butang. Diba, for example, no, ani ha analogy. Kunwari nasamad ka, tapos, ang imo lang gibuhat is, nasamad ka, gihugasan lang imo imong samad, then gitambalan. Niabot ang pila ka adlaw, wala ka, natingala ka nga nang wala man naayo ang samad. So, nakalimot ni kuan di ay pangutana kung ang katubang tao man ay samad is diabetic ba siya. So, sige lang kang tambal, sige tambal. Wala siya naayo. Hantod nga po, doon lang dyan ang katong area kung asa nasamad ang tao. It's because ang imuha lang approach sa problem is one-sided lang. It should be holistic. Mean to say, tanang areas, imo dyan na siyang tanawon and provided mo siya og problem. Solution through your application. So, kumingon mo nga, so, sir, assured ba nga all problems ba is, or kani among buhaton nga startup is, mo siya solution sa tanang butang? I would answer nga no as of this moment because ang inyong ma-provide karon na application is just the first stage. Naman tayo ginatawag na updates or i-maximize na to inyong project. So, hintay nag-launch mo sa inyong project, karon for within 3 years, i-launch na mo at ipagamit ito ang kuhan. Then, during those years or months na ginagamit ay na-launch ang inyong project, dapat nagapadayon inyong data gathering kung unsa pa ba'y pwede nga buhaton for the expansion sa inyong system. Kung napansin ninyo, dahil na kay mga almost all or not, if not all of the um, mga application, whether it's desktop, mobile application, or web application, naadyo siya update. Even Facebook, di ba si Facebook dati is wala siyang ani nga mode, dili siya katong wala sila ani nga mode, kanang wala ang mobile nga mode. But karon hinahina na gina-phase out sa Facebook katong code niya nga interface. Si Mobile Legends, nag-upgrade siya. Ngano nag-upgrade siya from this kanang this kanang map or this skin or kanang this character na yung mga natuwang character. It's because nakita sa developers sa kanang mga application niya, uy, pwede pa man di magdungag, pwede pa man di ita mag-expand kay naa siya potential for either income, mo dyan number one, no? May makita dyan mo, profitable siya, or naa siya ka ng potential nga mas musikat pa. Because ang labanan diri karon sa application is sustainability. Kinsa ang kanang dapat madugay o kinsa ang pinakadugay nga mawala sa market. Kana. And isa pod is potential jud nga mahimong tabang usability, kumbaga, sa mga existing social issues. Kana siya. So you have profitability, usability, o kanang iyang marketability. Kana siya. Charot. Next question from Ali. In POM opportunity column, it should be related to the problem or any situation related to key area. Opportunity. Okay. Opportunity, no. Si opportunity, magod, muna siya ang positive side sa inyong problem o sa POM. So, balik na sa taas, ha. Kay, dapat yun motuo mo nga masipa o ka na natin problem. Kaya ang problema, na yun na siya kuan na hatag sa ito nga positivity. Kay kung wala na siya nga matay na tatanan. Example, ang problem niya is wala siya hinay iyahang production sa kanang kuan reports. Okay. Ang reason is that wala siya computer. Ang opportunity ana is wala siya bayaran nga kuryente kahit dako nga bill sa kuryente or maintenance sa computer. Muna siyang opportunity. Mean to say, masipag nagka-problema siya tungkol sa hinay ang production, nakatipid man noon siya sa iyahang electricity bill. Or, ang isa sa opportunity ana, dili man siya opportunity dito mismo sa client, pero pwede siya mo hire o kanang mag-outsource. Mean to say, kanang mag-outsource ka, yun na siya na regular employee. Kumbaga, contractual. So, mag-outsource ka o kanang mga tao to do the work para mapaspas siya. Warag sa kuan ba kanang mga contact tracers karon sa COVID. Kanang contact tracers, kuan na siya kanang casual na sila, di na sila kanang regular employees. Na sa contract for 6 months, and after 6 months, either i-renew sila or dili. Nganong naman, number one, kung regular mo sila nga employees ng board, magbayad ka o ilang mga benefits such as SSS, something na. Pero kung contractual sila, ang bayad lang mo is katulong within the period of time, mas tipid siya kaysa bayaran mo siya o katong SSS every month na pay taxes. Kanya. So, opportunity na siya karon. So, ayun lang muna na ang problem. Kaya kanong opportunity mag-good, isa na siya sa dahilan kung nganong makaingon mo nga inyuhang application is naa siya silbi o na siya relevance. Okay, it's because, kunwari, na-create na mo siyang application, katong opportunity, pwede pa mo siya madoble iyang opportunities. Diba? So, yung mas dati is nag-hire ko, karon mas daghang ma-hire kay naka-online naman siya. Hindi na sa kailangan pumato sa opisina. And then, mas easy ang tracking or monitoring sa ilang performance o sa ilang trabaho. muna siyang opportunity. So, again, ang opportunity, it should be per problem. Kay pwede man good, or possible po ha, kung ang tulo ka problems ninyo is same na opportunity, wala na siya problema. Pero kung namo yung mga instances man good nga, kada problem is lain-lain siya opportunity, even sa cause ug sa effect. Pwede siya nga, ang tulo, pareho siya cause ug effect, or kada problem lain-lain siya cause and effect. Okay, next. I'm still confused and making a problem statement. Can we have more examples for making problem statements? Sige. Example. Delete na. Dito na punta sa information. Okay. Okay. Kani, large ongoing staff training cost. Okay. So, ang large ongoing staff, ang large diri is muna siya ang nag-identify sa ongoing training. So, or ongoing staff training. Or staff. Kana, large ongoing staff training. Ang iyang adjective is ang large. Ang siya ang negative. Negative din siya na nag-describe sa ongoing training. Meaning, dako siya nga training. Ang iyang specific diri nga issue is ang cost. So, kani siya, pwede po ni siya mahimo na, pero kung nanamoy ka to inyong problem is i-specify niya diri is kung sa siyang klase nga training. Kung ito kabalo sa nga training, large ongoing is ICT training for staff cost. Kana. Kompleto na siya nga problem statement na nakay diri nag-describe na negative for the object, which is ongoing staff training. And you also have your specific problem, which is cost. Cost mismo, cost itself is already a problem, especially if makita nito. So, kung napansin nyo, under ni siya sa economics, wala tayo lain pag economics na ni kwarta yun na siya ang atong padulungan. Kani pong not money saver, this is still an incomplete na problem statement. Not, kaya pwede mo siya not money saver o yung kadali o not money saver, pwede siya mo ang muna siya ang kanang kung na describe negative, not money saver in building a program. Ang building program is the object na describes mo not money saver. In building program for the employees or for the development of the employees. Kapag development of the employees, that could be the problem, the specific problem. So, ito siya. Or, pwede po nga hindi po pwede nga not money saver in the development of the development of the employees. That is your specific problem. So, yan So again, kanina andi sa column 3, pwede niyo siya, most of it, pwede niyo siya magamit ninyo as your problem statement. Ilang specify na mukuan siya, mag-customize siya based sa inyong actual client's problem. Well, Jens, questions? Writing out the method you plan to use to solve the problem is crucial in writing a problem statement. Are there any tips or guide to organize the method? Okay. Depende maguna siya sa tao. Ako personally, how I organize my plan. Number 1 is, in your case na lang na ako na lang ikuhan. Certainly mo kay nakakuan mo, initial interview. Actually, it was an actual interview dito siya last year. So, and then, kapila mo balik-balik ito, nagkaroon na mo ka ng face-to-face na consultation. So, na mo idea on what should be expected. So, happen lang, wala din yung gipadayon, wala na mo naguna-una, nalimtan na niya during the summer, last semester, where nawala siya sa passing. So, this is not the time to refresh everything. But, the good thing there is na may documents to support such as your PowerPoint, kato inyong mga proposals na documents kato siya. So that's one way of planning your on how to solve the problem. Second is, aside from those things, you have to come up with an improved and acceptable set of problem statements. Because that's the time that we will know that the limitation, the scope and limitation of your system. Kaya ako, personally, kung gusto mo sagot na daghan kayo mo o dako kayo inyong isolve na problem because dapat time bounded na good ka. Remember that you will finish this capstone project by first semester, fourth year. Okay, second semester, fourth year is just going to be OJT. So, di mo ta, kung gusto niyo mag 6 years or 5 years sa BCC, sa BS sa ITA program, just let me know. Okay, i-extend ko na to. Wala problema na. So, you have to set your plan na dapat by ani mahuman na siya. So, the target na to is dapat by capstone project mismo mahuman siya by 4th year, first semester. So, kana, ayun na siya paabuta o tugay. Is there any possibility that a problem is not questionable by the 5 Ws? Actually, impossible siya. Okay? Dila dyan siya magdagandagan. Why? What? Una yun, what? Why? Where? When? 4 Ws na. And then, isa, who? Tapos, ang isa kay how. Wala dyan lain. Kumulig na siya. 5 Ws and 1 H. How it will affect the problem statement if the 5 W is not complete. Dili nyo kailangan complete jud kay magdepende man siya kung unsalay ka ng need. Kaya pwede man po nga wala siya when. Kasagaran jud kay what or where. So, dili jud siya kay necessarily kompleto ang 5 Ws of 1 H. Magdepende siya. But, ma-anchor dito jud magbase. Wala kay lain nga base. Dito jud siya dito sa 5 Ws in 1 H. Okay, Adrian. First question. Providing questions like when and how are useful. Questions to create a well-constructed problem statement. But what if the client did not give specific answer or failed or reject to answer? Aside from the W's method, is there other backup methods for making a question problem statement? Yung siya kay pang binibini Pilipinas yung siya question how'd siya mo kung si Adrian o question. Tanawa siya ang manner sa questioning niya. Ihatag sa siya o walang scenario and then ikuan siya og question like same siya with Welgin. So supposed to be ba't mo mag-ask a question sa inyong client. Ayaw din siya pangutan na nga yung si problema sa inyong business ma'am or si kana siya das no kay kana nga question ang itubag lang sa inyong sa inyong client is kung sa tong question sa to iyang dali-dali nga matubag. Pero kung ingani siya ang manner sa pag-question niya, ma'am, napansin ako dali, kamo mis dapat observant mo, no? Napansin ako ma'am ba nga kanang warag naan, dili kay organize inyong lugar. Magpasintawi po mo ha, it's how you say it, magod ka na. Naman problema ma'am when it comes to retrieval of or retrieving your documents. Ano lang. So, ayun siya nga ma'am, na problema ka sa retrieval of documents. Pero siya wala niya, obviously, na so, kana, no. So, that's actually I already answered na in order for you to get or convince your client to give the answer that you need, you have to uh, create questionnaires that will direct the client to the answer or the answer that you really wanted. Yan na siya. And be charming. You should be friendly. Well, yun na siya dahil. Isa sa dahilan nga hindi mo hatag ang client og answer, it's because ma-feel nila nga di mo interesado sa ilaha. Kana ganing point nga um, gusto lang ninyo dito mo, ang gusto lang ninyo is compliance lang for the project. Ayaw pang-ana kay ang thinking mo gud ana sa inyong client is anytime soon hawa ni sa kuha kay kung mo maansira na ako ni iyang gusto, mahato na kung gusto niya, mawala ni kalit. So you have to give assurance to your client na, ma'am, this is not our first engagement. So I'll be coming back or we'll contact once in a while because I wanted to know more. And ayaw po kwa tanan ang information in just one sitting. Kaya exhausting kina siya. Kumbaga kapoy kina siya sa client. And then, i-consider ninyo ha, yung client is na po siya other things to do. So, you have to set an appointment. Kanya, i-set na po yung expectation niya. Muni siya inuhang, muni may tabo during the, uh, the interview. Para di na po siya mag-expect na, ha, daghana day questions ani oy. So, kanan lang. Then, mukuan kag set kag time na, ma'am, this is just an 1 hour interview. Ana, so, ikaw mismo, dapat andam na ka on what to ask para makuha niyo ang gustong answer. For being a problem solver, the negative personality adjectives topic is confusing. Can I have an example on how to execute? Number one, you need to know what are those negative adjectives. Then, just na naman ito listahan mo. Guess, na naman ito dali. Jura, negative personality adjectives. Yung karon og lazy. Ano lazy in researching the something. Kana siya. So, muna siya ang mga example. So, di mo ka pwedeng offensive or offensive ilahang mga postings. Kana siya. So, these are just few examples of the negative personality adjectives that you can actually use to describe the object in your problem statement. So, muna siya ang inyong kanang basis. But please search for more. Daghan pa mong kayo ni Gus. Mula ni examples na ako as of now. Next, from April, can you explain to us all of the things that we need to do before we can start going to ask our client or POM? Hangyo lang na ko ha. Next time, do not give this kind of question. Kaya wala diingon lang mo sa ko ang kanang i-explain lang tanan sir. But you can specify asa you did to the pit. Okay, but sige, ang sila na ko ni. Ganina, kanina naman ko o katong you have to prepare your questionnaire ahead of time. You have to set time limit or first set schedules in your interview and then be specific on the length or duration of your interview. If it's going to be 1 hour, it should be 1 hour only. And then you have also to consider the schedule of your client. So you have to ask first kung sa imong most comfortable time. And this time ang good, since we cannot do face-to-face, your client must have a social media account. Okay? That's the only way that you could talk to them. Or kung dagan mo kwarta pang load, you can actually do it sa text, SMS. Pero mo lang po, siya load or abot lang. But please avoid. Now, if in case lang jud nga inyong client is silingan na ninyo, mas maayo kung pwede na siya istoryahon lang face to face. But again I'm not encouraging you to do it face to face because we really need to avoid being exposed to COVID-19. Diba? Sila na po yung magreklamo nga parent, akong anak, naabot na ni ana-ana. Again, parents, kung matanaw nyo ni, dili na ko gina-encourage na mag face-to-face interview. They can use social media. Minimum is chatting or email to conduct an interview. Are we going to fail if the client cannot give what we will asking for? What if they don't have much problem and it will not be going to reach to the thing? Okay, this is now the issue. Of course, how can you create an IT project if wala di ay siya problem na i-solve? So in the first place, that was the requirement during your first year, that you have to look for a client that is experiencing issues on their organization or business. And then later on, you provide IT solution. So I think it's very impossible that the client cannot give problems per key area katong sa POM. I think it's a manner of questioning lang yun na siya. Kaya minsan masipag mo yung ang initial problem sa imong client is kani, minsan kulang ilang kita sa ilang low income or not dili profitable ilang business. Ang question dira karon is magsubay ka diri sa imong kuan. Ako nga una, nganong dili man nga naka-profitable kay tungod kay hinay ilahang mulihok ilahang ilang mga trabahante. Sige lag Facebook, sige lag tabi. So, maapektuhan yun ang performance. Isa pa, di sa kabalo makipagstorya sa kanang kliyente. Dili o kanang wala take it or leave it. Problema di siya no kay kung ako ang kanang buyer or kliyente, di mangita og lain, dagan pa man lain. Information, dili klaro ilang price list. Pagabago karon kay ani ang presyo. Paglain nga kanang kliyente lain ang mga presyo. Kana siya economics, mahal ilang baligya or ilang kanang kuan is taas ilang kumbaga expenditure, ilang expenses, nga gamay sila og kita na economics na. Control, wala sila control sa mga absences sa ilang mga trabahante. So saan man pag trabaho ana sa ilang kuan, so apektado yun siya, di nila ma-meet ilang quota. Or control when it comes to the production, na matingitag overproduction. Sobra ang ilang produkto sa demand. So na yung mga bulok, na yung mga daot. Efficiency, this is doing the right things instead of doing the things right. So you are achieving the correct, mas efficiency gani mo na ha, doing the things or doing the right things. Kaya ang doing the things right, that is effectiveness. So pag efficiency gani, dapat na-achieve na hit nimo ang target nimo nga outcome, and at the same time is nakatipid ka. So that becomes efficient. So kung sa may problema ani, so nag-marketing sa una, nagpa-billboard. Unya, pila naman ang kinita. So why not use kanang word of mouth? Meaning to say, ayuhon nila ng serbisyo and then let the clients or their nagkapatronize sa ilahan, may magtabi dito sa pang, okay, how to dito, kapot itong produkto dito, kanya, pwede na siya. So nakatipid na ka, nilambo pa yung negosyo. Service is how you deal with people or with your clients. Or aside from that is natuman ba nimo sa imuhang kanang duty or ang purpose sa imuhang business or wala kung tag 24/7 man ang among gipangay ang among gikuan niya. 24/7 yung maniradog alas 5 sa hapon. Di 24/7. So cannot know. So that means to say tanang klaseng problema ma-hit niya ang 6 key areas sa problem opportunity matrix. So dili ko mo dawal wala. So, depende na siya sa pag-ask. Okay, Lawrence. If one of the 4 W's cannot be answered if a proposal is rejected, as what I've said, dili siya rejected, but because it really depends. Dili man kita ng W's jud kay naadid siya present, but naadid na jud dito, naadid yung mga W's, pwede magbalik-balik. The rejection nga issue sa inyong proposal, ang pinakadako nga factor ana is wala may klaro, number 1, wala may klaro nga client. Well, diba, kung napansin niyo, magsigo pangutana nga about questions kung giunsan niyo pagkuha ani nga data. Pag mag-answer mo sa kagani nga wala ko kabalo sir, that should not be given to me as an answer because dili man gid ikaw ang mo-answer ana. It should be coming from the client. So kung yung wala ko kabalo sir, ang sumpay ana, wala ko kabalo sir, pero pangutan-on ako balik ang client. Kaya kung yung wala ko kabalo sir, period, wala kay plano nga pangutanon ng client. Kaya could it be nga nakalimot lang ka ang pangutan na ana sa client. So wala nang na-realize na kana ang question is relevant. So ana ha. Another factor nga nung ma-reject siya is wala siya klaro nga innovation. So that's your struggle during your katong sa last week about the innovation. So this time for this unit lesson 4, 5, and 6, you will gradually realize what are the innovations that you will inject to your proposal. Kaya kung wala mo siya innovation ng good, ano na siya padayon. Look for another proposal mintras sa'yo pa. Kaya maabot sa panahon, next school year, third year ninyo, magbuhat na ba mo baya o kanang kuan inyong SIA, which is the first nga subject na magbuhat na mo jud og actual interface sa inyong kuan. Di na siya wireframe. So, maghago-hago lang mo yan. At the end of the day, iligyan po siya dawaton. So, better start with the best idea with supportive client and complete information. So, I think those are the things that you need to consider or bear in mind regarding sa rejection. Can you explain to us why is it important? Why is problem opportunity matrix important? It's very important, especially if you have difficulties in formulating questionnaire. Kaning magod siya ang problem opportunity matrix magod. Kung napansin niyo, questionnaire na yun siya in a sense. Imanan mo ka, kung kabalo na ka kung sa i-ask din sa performance, buta na mo din, naba may nga problem ng i-base ni din, no? So, problema ni ma'am, kani. So, siya na yes o yes o. Kapag mga yes tanan is isulod siya diri. After that, buta na ka karon. Kung say cause, gano'n namin nga problem, ma'am. So, cause. Ano siya ang kanang kuan na ang sequence na problem first and then ask the cause. Kung say dahilan. Then, after na is the effect. Mana mo nga. So, since namin nga problem, ma'am, nga yung ani ang cause, unsa may kanan na hitabo. So, not the effect. After that, na even though ma'am namin ani nga problem, yun sa man niyo pagkuan ma'am, pag-survive, yun sa man niyo pag saan pag-survive kanang sa kaning kuan sa yun sa niyo pag-survive sa kanang everyday life. Nganong hantod karon kay naa pa man mo, di ba?
Itong, ang say ni, chocolate. Ay, doon na.
Katuno. So, kana ha, ang panguntahan ninyo inyong client, ma'am, pila na katuig ni inyong business organization? Ano siya og 10 years, 4 years, 3 years. So, that means to say, kung ano na siya, kana, even though nag-exist na siya nga problem, nag-survive sila. Ang question nga nung di sila pag-survive. So, that becomes your kanang gateway para ma-identify or maka-discover mo kung sino mga opportunities di ay. That's the positive side. Kung ano gusto, masipaw ka na yung ani mong problema, nakasugakod mi kay nagtinabangay lang may opportunity na siya, unity in the organization, char. Ganyan. So, yung gamiton ninyo siya as tool nga para mag-ask ng question. Tapos, kung tayo nagbutan na mo dito question, wala pa siya di pa, random lang sa butang-butang. After ninyo mag-interview na plaster ni tanan, ang next ni ask a question sa inyong client is, kaning mga problems diri nga naa sa 1, 2, 3 or more than 3, kasi mas dagan pa sa 3, as paki-rank do ni ma'am or sir, asa ang pinaka-problema to the least problem. So, na-rank na siya no, tanan. Karon after na-rank ni kanina sa third column, ang next niya question, ma'am or sir, asa diri among the 6 key areas ang pinaka-problema or concern sa inyong organization or business. So, to siya, economics ang 1. Ano sa next, ma'am? 2 sa information, 3 sa control, and so, i-rank na po niya po based sa degree sa problem sa ilahang company. But, hindi ka po answeran tanan. So, kato mga number 1 diri karon, may mo po siyang automatic na specific problem except for katong rank 1 kay rank 1 sa economics, katong number 1 niya diri nga problem nga rank 1 diri is mo to si general problem, katong number 2 automatic mo sapat to siya as number 1 and that becomes the first entry sa non-specific problem. So na may expected na 1 general problem and 6 na specific problem. Specific problems. So, kuan. So, ang gawaan ninyo para sa makabuo na tayong problems, pohon, pag magbuhat na mo sa inyong system, dito na magbase. That's why kailangan siya measurable in yung problems. Kaya dili siya, pinatag ka ng low cost or ka ng ditabi. Ni slow production of reports. Ang kaning slow, pwede na siya ma-measure depende sa unsay gamiton nimo nga ang kanang method or tool. Muna siya isa pa sa concern sa quantitative method. Kaning slow production man good, pwede ni siya nga ang imuhang pag-test is pila ba ka reports, una sa pauta, pila ba ka reports ang ilang ma-produce sa ilahang pang-adlaw-adlaw. Ito, in a week, pila ka buk na ma-produce. In a week, kay makaproduce sila og 20 reports. 20 reports, and then pila di ay ilang target. Ang target nila is 50. So, nakakaroon ka ng urag benchmark na slow di siya di ay. So, ang imuhang target karon is that para maka-determine ka na kung saan yung pagkabalong imuhang i-propose na is nakatabang siya para mapapaspas ilahang production. Dapat with your application, ang 20 in a week, dapat mahimo siyang 40 or ma-achieve niya ang 50. So, yung siya karon. So, that's why it should be measurable. So, di siya pwede nga ka ng dili. And poor monitoring. How do you measure poor monitoring? Pwede siya nga, poor monitoring siya, it's because ang iyang target sa monitoring is dapat is in a week, is dapat na siya in a day dapat nag-monitor siya every session, morning, afternoon, evening. Is busy niya karon, di man siya ka-monitor. So once na lang siya in a day. So with your application, even though di siya maka-monitor, but there is a certain feature in your application na mo generate siya og report or kana monitoring na information or data, di nakatabang na siya sa monitoring. Ana siya, that's how you define measurable. So, mo po na ito ang intended learning outcomes na ganina. You should come up with questions that has measurable elements. As na kong explanation. What are we going to fail? Sige, kanang fail. Are we going to fail if our client cannot give what we will be asking for? What if they don't have much problems? Again ha, kung nga naman inyong client, hindi mo hatag, pwede mo ma-fail, look for another client. Wala kang maatambang. If one of the 4 W's, mo kay Christian, in POM, do we need to get information of all? Of course, yes. Of all the key areas. If my client cannot provide information, is there, okay na answer na ko na. Again ha, lesson 5, I will no longer accept questions that's answerable by yes or no. And then, di na dapat mag-repeat ang questions. So, you have to read kung saan yung na-post na questions sa inyong classmates. Okay, proceed ko kay Mark Van. How can we approach our client online to give us information that we need? Una-una, magpaila dyan mo. And then, i-explain sa unsay purpose nga nung kailangan niya sa mastorya. Mula dyan na. And then, you have to show your sincerity to help rather than showing them na kailangan nila for your subject. Of course, no, you have to do it i-enroll nyo ni, but kung ma-face yung client dyan niya, sincere mo nga, tabang sa ilahan, with or without this requirement sa akong subject, ihatag niya sa mga, so gain their trust para makuha. Then, mutujo ko dyan nga, daghan tayo sa Facebook ang pwede nyo ma-interview. Kay halos tanan karon naana sa Facebook. Daghan na kay mga pages po nagibuhat sa Department of Agriculture, sa ani. You can ask them. You can just type. Ang nakanindot yun, ana, is di mo dapat maulaw kay mo face-to-face pa ni Ivan. Ulaw na si Ivan. So, kung di i-reject siya, di goodbye, next na po. What if the problems you give to us, AOM already have existing solution? That's actually good because kanang solution will fall under opportunity. Remember that your target here is to increase or to improve their efficiency or the performance of their business organization. Kung nasa yung ang solution na mas maayo, nga naman sa inyong application karon kay that solution could be converted to a kind of digital format or napamoy other solutions pa na pwede nyo mabutang sa inyong application. So, pag nanay solution ilang problem that falls under opportunity. Okay, na siya problem, na cause, na effect, pero ang solution nila di ay is kato. So, that's why, di na kasi nahin yung problema nila. Ray Gadgude, is it necessary to ask questions to the clients that is in the WS method that will help me conduct? Ayun yung kayo na what, where, and pag-construct of questions na dilikin ko nga, when will the start of the something like, ayun po na, ayun din, start sa W, casual lang, ang kasabot mo is kato na siya. Is there a possibility that our proposal will be rejected if the client cannot put problems in one key area? Requirement din siya na tanang key area sa POM na din siya problems. At least to low. Kana siya, requirement na siya. Kim, last questions. Why negative adjectives are important in creating research problem statement? Okay. Para jud magdagway siya nga problem statement sa IT, dapat man jud na siya measurable na element. And then, it should be in negative form. E kung dili siya in negative form, di siya magawas na problem. Wala na. Can we ask other organization to increase the chance again? Yes. Yes, tayo. Okay. Kanang mas maay ako no, mas maay nga naki-cross referencing. This is also good ha. This time and good, I would like to encourage you na di lang isa ka business, isa lang ka kumpanya inyong interview on. Kay you are giving solution lang good and not just one. Pwede siya manggod nga. Basi manggod nga. Kani siya nga problem is wala diri na sa pikas. Pero para po inyong isa po sa reason or factor na imong sustainable inyong IT solution, dapat tanan makarelate. So para inaana nga may tabong makarelate halos tanan, you have to ask more than one. So, pero imong problem dito, katulad di siya imong concern. Areas of concern is about disaster. Dahil ito disaster. So, mangitagod ka ng other po na mga organization or kanang kanya, nag-deal about disaster. Then, muna to siya. So, mas dako og range or kanang wala range ang imuhang kanang data gathering. So, mas credible na siya kay napo kay point of comparison when it comes to solution and cause and effect. Kay basic kani siya nga problem, isa ka problem no. Dili siya mao ang cause o effect o opportunity sa isa. Lain din sa DI. So, mas maayo to siya na at least na may more than one. But if kung to siya requirement ha, that could be a kanang siya additional na siya nga wala way to method on how to make your proposal kanang wala 100 sure ball. So we still have few minutes to go. Do you have left? Do you have any additional questions? Or so far okay sa to?
Ako sir, ako i-question sir.
Sige, go.
Nang wala sir, mudawat mga kailangan man nagkuan sir no, evidence data gathering.
Yan siya evidence. Screenshot sa inyong conversation will do.
Pwede mag-Google Form sir.
Pwede po Google Form. O pwede. O mas maayo. Kung
Kalimot mo sir sa auto sir magbuhat.
Google Form?
Yes sir.
Okay.
Gito na mo na last year sir.
Check YouTube.
Nasa ko ito mo sa inyong Google account. Nana Google Forms ito. Yan. Maghimo lang nag-questions. Very kayo na.
Ay, okay sir, okay sir. Okay sir.
Para isa na lang ang question, sir. Di na balik.
Pwede po.
Ah.
Actually, nindot na siya.
Mas dali, sir.
Oo.
Para hanay ang informasyon sir.
Speaking of Google Forms, no. Pwede mo magbuhat og kanang checklist. Kato gani, di ba? Kanina adere. Idea ni siya ha. Di ba? Naman ni mga possible na questions na adere for performance. Karon, buhaton niyo siya nga kanina naka-checkbox. Checkbox number 1. Scrambles, retrieve, ana. So, ipa-check lang sa inyong kanang kuan, inyong client kung asa nila underperformance na nga i-categorize kaya kung siya. Kung asa ito ang ilang nakuan na experience sa mga out of these questions. That could be first part sa inyong interview. Ang next part, checklist naman siya. Pwede mo mag-chat, i-confirm yung no. Unsa di cause, unsa effect, niya unsa katog muna to siya. Wala gipapili lang niya sa una kay checklist lang sa di ba? Ang next na phase interview is nag-asa mo unsa cause, unsa effect. Yan na. That's the use of
Pwede na gyapon yes or no sir.
dili yes or no. Ikuan lang ba?
Okay.
Dili yes or no. I-checklist na kaning tanan no, scrambles, hunting. Butan niya siya sa checklist. Kaya ang instruction nyo sa inyong kuan, inyong client, your interview mo is, asa diri sa mga problems under sa performance. Kaya checklist man siya. So, pwede siya multiple, di ba? So, multiple selection is compared sa radio button. So, magkuha mo din karon niya. Asa diri sa mga problems under performance ang experience niyo sa inyong company or organization. Check kanina. After ma-send, that katong inyong data nga nakuha, kung ito pwede ito himo or magbuhat mong questionnaire, kay mangutan naman mo karon o katong cause of effect of opportunity para makabuo mo o katong inyong katong problem statement. Kay kanina magud siya, this is not yet complete. Kay di pa ni siya kumbaga dili pa ni siya customize sa ilahang kumpanya. Okay, loss of documents. Isang klase na document. Wala man siya. Kung nakabutan din document of what? Dapat specific siya. So, thank you, Kim, kay nakaunaw na ka Google Forms. That is kind of one way. Kung po nakaunaw na Google Forms.
Ali ana sir.
Dahil po siya Italy, kaya naman siya Excel afterwards. So, about the... sige, Ali, go.
Sir, katong statement of the problem, sir ba? Tong sa last upload, gud nimo sir, tong naka-word. Each tulo ka problem sa key area, sir. Isa-isa po to ka problem statement.
Dili pa. Tama. Kada pag mabutang na siya dito as isubmit niyo sa QA, dapat ang iyang format na is katong required problem statement. Kaya katong during the interview, of course, gubot pa kayo na siya, no? Okay. Pwede man
Abali, isa na to tanan, sir.
Isa-isa.
Isa-isa.
Tulo din siya
Okay.
ka problems per key area.
Okay, sir.
Sige. Ano pa ba? Katong yung mga kuan na, ipang submit nga kuan katong PowerPoint. Ayos mo kabala ka kung di pa na ko siya mabutangan dahil og feedback. Anyways, as we progress to this MS 102, hinahinayon na to og improve inyong proposal. So that's why ginapabutan ako siya og slide share kay para makita niyo yung before and after. So at the end of this semester, kato siya, munindot na to siya. Kaya para pagka next semester, ready na mo para buhaton to siya nga inyong SIA na project. Individual pa magyapon ta, okay, heads up lang. Third year, first semester, ang inyong buhaton nga project sa BUA for SIA, individual pa siya. Dili pa ta mag-groupings. So, kanya-kanya pa magbuhat o inyong interface. Kung ano na siya web, kung di siya ta mag-mobile, kung sa ta, web app, kay karong kuan gamiton yun na inyong proposal karong summer because you have your mandatory summer for web and mobile application. So kani inyong kanang proposal kung inyong buhatan og web application o gamay nga mobile app. Kaya ang full-blown na mobile application o mobile programming na sa first semester sa third year. So pag abot yung first semester, third year, what are the documentation for SIA, and then pagka second semester, third year, madungat ang IAS, which is, muna siya ang software engineering. Mahumanon niyo dapat inyong individual system. Human as in human. So kanang processes sa data flow diagram, humanon siya. So therefore, karon day sa MS 102, maghimo po ta og data flow diagram. Depende dito sa result. Then, at the end of the second semester, third year, kay mag-capstone project pa na mo mag-defense na mo, then dito ka makabalo kung kinsa ang magkagrupo sa inyuhan. So, para fair, dapat na contribution ang kada isa. So, ito yung mga gihatag gibuhat na project mo to siya ang pilian kung kinsa ang pwede ipadayon sa capstone project. So, ana siya. So, mas gamay na lang dyan kaayo kay since nahuman naman, expecting na nahuman naman ang base system sa second, third year, second semester. Pag abot niyo yung fourth year po ha, advance na ko no. Fourth year, first semester, polishing na yun siya. Kaya ako ang target man ko, di na mo gusto nga pag mag fourth year mo, kanang sige pa magbuhat og capstone, dapat ginagmay nilang siya. More on defense na lang yan. Nga may tabo. Kaya para paabot niyo second semester, fourth year, igo na din mag-OJT na lang mo for the entire semester. Ayan. So, muna ang plan. So, kanong palandaan sa MS 102, napatarungan na nato og panday inyong concept. Okay? Sige. And congratulations, Sal. I really appreciated the effort in creating the questions. And I really gusto ko yung ani ato ang klase. So, Monday, magbasa mo sa akong i-post na concept, then create question. I do hope na next week, wala na yung questions answerable by yes or no ha, and no more duplication of questions. Okay? So, I think that's it lang. Then, enjoy your let's activity and assessment, child. Sige. Ano man Adrian, hindi makakasend og late. Mas na late ka. Na-late ka o kuan hatag. Huh? File? Di siya pwede ma-comment? Dili. So, kamo tanan kay dili.
File lang pwede.
File lang. Sige. Kasi usabon ako tong kuan ha, usabon ako. So, kuan ha sa i-extend na ko tong prelim ha for until Sunday. Okay, basi na mali lang ko. Okay? Sige.
Sir,
Ikaw, ang kuan magud kay dili ka send inyong classmate og link sa slide share file and daw basi na mali lang jud ko og set instead of online text kay ang ibutan nako file only walay comment. So, mali ko. So, dapat lang, online text lang to siya. So, i-extend na ko ang prelim exam until until Friday na lang, over po Sunday. Friday. Kaya anyways, link naman yung i-post dito. Okay? Sige. So, I think it's already time. So, by the way, last na lang. Kanang submission karon for your kanang assessment o activity, napa ni siya part 2 kay after na ko i-check, ibalik pa na ko na kanapa another submission ana. Ha? Siyempre, mas mali di ay. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
yes, sir.
Enjoy.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.